What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be doing some maintenance on the M5, as you can probably tell by the title. I have been driving this car left and right all over the place as I've been ramping up my automotive photography business over the past several months. We have racked up some miles, and as we have just hit a big milestone in terms of mileage, we hit 60,000 miles on this car. It is time to do some maintenance in order to have this car perform as good as it has been for us for a long time to come. We're gonna be doing transmission fluid, rear differential fluid, and we're going to be doing transfer case fluid. I am not very well equipped to do all of that work myself, so we're going to bring in our friend Matias from BMW, and he is a master tech over there, an absolute goat, and he is going to be taking care of this for us and kind of guiding us along the way in terms of how to best do this maintenance job. Anyway guys, without blabbering too much, let's get going. Let's go see Matias.
That looks like Verteilergetriebe.
Yeah, that's fluid 6. ZF, that's for the transmission.
Yeah.
This. I'm gonna reuse this black bag.
Nice.
Little magnets to catch up any metal contaminants.
Nice.
So,
Awesome.
to service this, you just take this panel off. That's just 2 8mm right here. And you go around, and I believe it's either a T25 or T45, I don't recall exactly. Once you've drained it out, you'll just drop the pan off. The filter will be placed up there. Make sure when you take the filter off, you take the little O-ring off. When we get to that part, I'll showcase what a lot of people forget to do. So drain plug first. Right here, I'm just using an Allen key. You can check the gear oil here as well. You'll see with my little headlamp, the gear oil actually looks really clean. There's no concerns for any metal shavings. I'm just splashing it out to make sure I don't see anything. Usually we'll do a magnet test if it looks dark, but with this fluid looking really healthy, there's no concern for any damage to the transmission. While this is draining, I usually drop those 2 bolts in the meantime and get ready to drop the pan. What you want to do before you pull the pan off is the fill plug up at the top here. I'm just using Allen keys to break it loose. Usually, if you can't get it with the Allen key, you can use a torque bit, or not a torque bit, my apologies, an Allen to socket attachment.
Gotcha.
When you open this lets air go into the system, which makes sure that you don't have any fluid pockets in the transmission. You'll see here the transmission is actually drained out pretty much completely. I do have a replacement of these as well already on hand for you. And once we're here, we only have 3 bolts left. I've already gone ahead and taken the rest of them out. In a second here, I'll just zap these 3 out and we'll lower this down, dip out whatever's remaining in the pan, and take the filter off. Take that down. You'll see some of those electronics. I'll just dump this out on its side. Transmission on the inside, or pan here, will actually look really clean. You'll see that there aren't any concerns at this time. Those little magnets have been doing their job as well on the bottom of this filter. You'll see here there's these little black lines that have built up. That's just any concern of fluid buildup or metal shavings on the little magnets here. We can clean those up all the way, and I can actually pull off some of that, but that's not anything concerning. Transmissions are intended to have a little bit of wear and tear, so that is all well within spec.
Nice.
Pulling this out, you'll see that I'll just kind of wiggle this out softly. Try avoiding catching any fluid in your face. Delicious. Close. We'll put the new one in, and we'll slap the pan back up there with a new gasket, and go back through the torque sequence.
Nice. And this is the filter.
Yep. And this is the filter.
Cool.
You see that nice little silver coating there?
Yeah. What'd that do?
Now that's just a little bit of the gear shavings that didn't have enough weight to be snagged by the magnets.
Gotcha.
So I'm one of those techs that kind of just gets a little OCD about this stuff.
Makes sense.
I'll go back through here and just kind of spray all this out to make sure that there is nothing left over. Because last thing I want is to introduce any excessive contaminants. Yeah. This was already in the transmission, so it's not considered a contaminant.
Gives new filter.
Before we put that on,
Freshy magnets.
is it removes any like trace lines, like you'll see like a few scratches there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're just trying to level the surface. I'm not really removing that much material, but I'm just
What is
trying.
that?
Scotch-Brite.
Oh.
Just your typical over-the-counter Scotch-Brite. Funny enough, we actually use this for a lot of valve covers and oil cans as well. Just kind of make sure that the surface is smooth, that there's no signs of excessive burrs or anything, because I wipe all this down. Once I've gone one way, I'll go the cross-hatch way as well. Just kind of making sure that there's no excessive grooves either. There's a little too much is never too good, and not enough can sometimes lead to premature failure. Because most times when you get these new products and they're put together on the assembly line, they're lathed to perfection. We don't have a lathe here on hand, so we can't make it to perfection, but we can make it pretty close where it's almost an OEM finish. Yep. And it also removes a lot of contaminants on some other chassis. There's RTV required with some of the gaskets. So we also make sure to remove any of the RTV gaskets and any residual to make sure that everything's good to go back together. Same goes on the bottom of the transmission. I'll go on the other side there, clean up, and we'll put it together. You just gotta be careful not to smack any electrical components. God forbid you do.
I smack all of them.
Yeah, like smack all of them. Accidentally plug on a wire. So you'll see there, I'm just lining everything up, make sure everything looks good. Make sure we got the right gasket. I got 3 extras over in my box, so not a big issue. But everything looks good. You'll see on some of these gaskets, on this corner here, they have like this plastic inlay line. That usually sits on a relief area here, because when you introduce an item, squish it together, and then fluids touch it, rubber expands oftentimes until it meets the end of its life and it starts drying up.
Gotcha.
That's kind of why we smooth up the surface, so we make sure the rubber sticks into the metal, expands properly, and seals with no concerns. Slightly hang, just make sure it's centered, so when it gets pressed in, since it has these little stands, it's actually nicely placed up in there. Now, I personally like going through one corner. I'm not going anything crazy, just starting the threads by hand, kind of lining it up. Once I have that one corner slightly in, doesn't have to be anything crazy, I'll do a little maneuver to the other side of the transmission pan, line it up, guide and twist here. Once you have it slightly threaded in, it's a little bit covered in oil, so I am slipping on it, but you will have it slightly floating. Just make sure you get at least 6 turns so you have a few enough threads that it doesn't slip down.
Look at this guy. 2025, right? This is just brand spanking new.
Brand spanking new.
People say this all the time, but these headlights have grown on them.
No, they actually look really nice.
They look great, especially like they show like.
I'll do the leaf or blink sequence real quick.
That's cool.
Very nice spec.
Red buckets. My ass doesn't fit in these buckets, but manual. Already lowered. Beautiful.
Trust the snap up. Alright, so torque sequence on this is actually super easy for BMW. It's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll see we have 3 across the front here and 4 across the back. After that, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, finishing off with center on this side. Now, that's what my instructions say on air. If yours look different, it can also be due to the transmission style or pan gasket versus generation.
Got it.
But that's going straight off air for me, so we'll get through it.
What does that mean, straight off air?
Airs are systematic thing that's like our technical information.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
What HON data would be, or all data would be to a lot of other manufacturers. BMW has their own specific stuff.
Gotcha.
And then it's 12 Newton meters for the torque on this as well. So going through, just starting the initiation here. Nice there. Righty-tighty is a concern when it becomes righty-loosey.
I've been there before. Special Turkey baster.
Yeah, the BMW special. It's got a BMW part number.
It was sold out for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, actually, funny enough, this is what I used to baste my turkey. And then I brought it in after using it for gravy, and I started using it for transmissions. Not going to use it again on the turkey. The wifey was not happy about it.
Look at that, looks so clean, green, clean.
Green, clean, definitely not eco-friendly.
Sure, we shall use this tool.
Yeah, if you're under the age of 20, skip this part and keep using that tool. If you're over the age of 20, use this thing. You don't need to blow your shoulder out. When it dries, it sucks in both fluid. Yeah, she's done.
She full? Very nice.
So diff fluid is pretty easy here. There's just two of these screws right here, or caps.
Right.
I've already loosened both here ahead of time. I usually loosen the top one all the way out first. That way it lets it breathe. I have extras of these as well. And you'll see the old fluid there. Looks pretty black. Someone actually drives their car, so to be expected. And then the bottom one, once again, do as I say, not as I do. Surprisingly, we didn't splash ourselves this time. Not looking too bad, a little bit of discoloration across it. You'll see, nothing too concerning. Differentials are a wear item, but this is nothing that would deem me to say the differential is damaged at this time. So we are still good on that.
Nice.
Fluid that goes into the rear of these is 75 W80. You can either use Redline or you can use BMW specific. Honestly, no problem with using a BMW or Redline item. Both are very, very similar. If you are going to track the vehicle,
We got 85, is that okay?
yeah, 75 W85 is even better. A little bit more heat resistance.
We need that.
Yeah, we do.
Recording, god damn it. Oh my god. This thing is oil or fluid is
It's
so
steer oil.
thick. Look, it's like lard fluid.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh my god.
Happens. You are pushing it though, it's going in. That is pretty frickin' crazy.
Okay. And now do that 4 more times.
4 more times. Dude, that's crazy how thick that is.
Start vacuum. Have a lower point. Disconnect. Let it gravity drain. Easy as that. Don't waste your time. Gravity drain it. Not a problem.
Interesting.
Yep. You just put a hose, push it through past the clutch engagement disc or the chain-driven disc in here.
Got it.
And kind of push that hose down to the bottom where it sits right there. It'll suck everything out, and you see I just created a little bit of vacuum on it. Hold that separation, self-draining. You can actually do the same with the non-M diffs because the M diffs have 2 fill and drain points.
Yeah.
The non-M diffs only have 1 fill point. So when we do diff service on them, same technique, you just gravity feed it.
That's cool.
Supposedly by BMW, you have to do the transmission.
Oh, is it transmission?
You never have to do the differential, and you never have to do the transfer case.
This too either, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lie, I'm gonna be honest. That's more so done so customers as yourselves don't do it yourself and possibly have a liability of damaging the warranty on paperwork. You can do it, just make sure that if you do it, don't leave any traces of you doing it.
Makes sense.
Because if there's traces, BMW is pretty stingy about it nowadays where they'll deny any claims, so.
Yikes. So you fill it the same way?
Yes, actually. But what I typically do is because I have this shorter one, I will clean this up here in a second. I'm actually able to reach it from the back side of here and just fill it through. As you'll see, the fill point is right up here on this side. Right there. So I don't have my light on right now. But
okay.
yeah. Life. Typically I do this twice just to make sure I got all the fluid. Because you never know. Sometimes you get in a little pocket of it, but you don't get all of it.
Got it.
So I'm gonna swap sides real quick. This side's slightly angled.
Oh yeah, here it says right here.
Lifetime.
Warning, lifetime oil. That's funny.
You see, I'm not fighting this like it's honey through a tube.
Yeah, this one is
So
more fluidy.
I'll put this up, get inside here, make sure I'm all the way in. You will catch on the threads sometimes, and then slowly fill it. Every now and then you'll catch it and it'll splash back on you, so make sure the camera's not right under it.
Got it.
Yeah, and then you just fill the fluid. We do these quite a bit actually. BMW's just kind of accepted that as technicians, we want to make sure customers' cars actually live longer. So we don't have the bad stigma anymore. So we've actually started doing transmission fluid services at the dealerships. So if this is something you wouldn't feel comfortable with, you can definitely take it to your actual BMW certified facility. And
oh, there you guys.
Yep, there you go.
Peeing.
And so that is filled. Now there is a trick to kind of getting this on. Not everyone has the skinniest hands. If you actually come from the side here and put your hand over, if you can't get your hand inside, you can usually just use like a little stick, put that up, and then to tighten it, just kind of roll it. Once you have it rolled, you can grab your tool. We use this monstrosity of a dongle here on just a kind of breaker bar style fitting.
Nice.
Line that up, find the hole properly, and you'll just go through and tighten it. And then you'll see that it gets some fluid on the exhaust here and some other components. Just take a simple can of brake clean, or if you have a brake clean sprayer, just spray everything off. Be pretty generous on it, just avoid any rubber seals, and you're done from there. And so
Easy,
I'm going to give it a nice, generous little spritz here. Make sure everything's nice and clean. And that's all 3 services.
Okay guys, and just like that, we have completed the maintenance on the M5. These were some big items that that were on my mind that I really wanted to get done before the track season, before the summer, before we start beating on the car a little bit more. And now we see that everything went pretty smoothly. The transmission oil looked great. The rear differential oil looked a little bit darker, but that's to be expected, as I do drive this car a lot. I do drive it spiritedly. I did a couple track days. I did a couple autocross days, and I take a lot of back roads and canyon driving pretty spiritedly. So I would say that I would expect that would happen. Transfer case fluid looks fine. And yeah, as you heard Matias say, BMW originally says that all of these items are lifetime, and I don't think that you can talk to any mechanic ever, anywhere, that can tell you that there's any kind of fluid that's lifetime. So definitely don't sleep on that. Make sure to check up your fluids. Make sure to do the maintenance before you do crazy performance mods, because we all like to have our cars and drive them, not to build them and then take them to a shop to fix them. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video of showing Matias's work on my car, my M5 Competition. If you have any questions, or if you want to get in touch with Matias, do shoot me a message. Or drop a comment below, and I will see you guys in the next one. And please don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Cheers.